Good morning. Hey, I got it right. Boogie with the Bull, Wednesday morning caffeine. Dave Glovin Randy Rhodes. We're live on the
Nine times.
nine times. Everybody, a big deal for Randy. I got it right 9 times in a row.
Once we get past 10, I'm gonna have to take my shoes off and use my tissy toes.
Once we get past 10, I'll make it easy on you. You can send me my gold letter for the day.
There you go.
And stock options that will lead to things that we were talking about in the in the live chat. Well, I'm not the best person that you want to have that discussion with anyway, because when you tell me you have a nice piece of computer technology just sitting there, not doing anything with it, I might bother you for it. Anyway, we're like I said, we're live on the Dave Golden profile. We're live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. You have to look for it there because they don't always make it easy and put it right there live on the channel. But anyway, let's go. What do you got, Randy? What are you showing?
That's the all-in-one computer.
Okay, the all-in-one computer. Everybody knows what they are. It's a big screen and a keyboard and a mouse.
And I gotta brag. Here's mine.
He's got to brag. Don't tell David Nobar that he's bragging, but he is bragging. Anyway.
Okay.
What do we got?
Oh God, what do we got? What do we
got this morning?
Oh, we're blurred. There we go. We're back in focus.
Coppergate School is locked down over in Middleburg. So stay out of the area if you can. I know it's tough if you have children, but stay out of the area and let them do their job. Anyway, this Saturday, as I said to Randy in the green room, I will be with my wife Donna at a craft fair. I don't have all of the information. I'll get you the flyer and it will be posted up as best as I can. I am back to being able to post today. I had to deal with some groups that were close, if not worse, to being removed, and Facebook was taking it out on my profile as well as the profiles of all the admins. So some may have left, some may have not. I'm not naming the groups, but this happens when people's own individual use of Facebook happens, because that's just the way they do it. But anyway, Randy, let's rock and roll on this thing.
Boom. Okay. Rock and roll. So, hold on.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. Just talk amongst yourself for a moment. I gotta wait. I might have it here. Hold on.
Okay. Talk amongst myself for just a moment. Just for a moment. Russ Denton is watching. Thank you, Russ.
Okay.
I think new.
I'm ready.
Randy's back.
What happened there? Shit. Hold on. Okay, no, I got it. Okay. Yep.
You got it?
We're ready to rock and roll here. I do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do this, that. Oh.
How many days in a row have you got?
Every day, no problem. Hey, back in the day, I'm sure maybe it's a guy thing or something, but back in the day, we all watched the cop shows, especially the one where it was bad boys, what you gonna do? Well, to those who are watching, we do not own the rights to this. We're just using it for educational purposes only, because after this, I'm going to show you a video of what not to do when you're facing off with the cops. Okay, so here we go with this. Mike,
okay,
you share that.
Wait a minute. Come down, but okay.
There you go.
All right.
Bad boys, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you? Tell me what you gonna do, yeah. Bad boys, what you gonna do when they come for you?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're going to do? What we're going to do? This is what we're going to do. And by the way, that song was actually written by a police officer. In case you guys didn't know that.
Okay.
So that's the prelude of what you going to do? What you going to do? Well, what's what happens to this guy when he stands up against the cops?
Okay.
What you have to understand, the backstory is this dude had a machete in his hand, and he was facing off to the cops with the machete in his hands. Okay, so here we go again.
Not a good idea,
Not a good idea.
especially when they have guns.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, hold on. I gotta hit this one. Okay.
On the ground now! Stop moving!
Okay, so that's what you don't do, guys. In case
No.
in case you're trying to learn here, you did not go into a store with a machete in your hand with the purpose of probably robbing the store, and you obviously do not want to show that machete as a way of saying to the cops, "Come for me because I'm going to mess you up." Because first off, they have two-way radios. They call in extra help, and they, my wife and I, we love our cop shows. I could go down through the whole list. We had like a dozen cop shows that we watch when they're in season. And that, and while I'm on that subject, it pisses me off. Producers and sponsors to come out with this show. Everyone loves it. Blue Blood, prime example. Yep. We all love it. We get involved with them. They become part of our family, and they say, "Oh, it's not making enough money. Or it's too far right for our taste. So we're going to cancel it." It's like, there are people out there who like what they do, and
but I think it's a game that they all play, because if it used to be back when we were a little bit younger that something would start on one of the other networks and then it would go to Fox and it would explode while it was on Fox and just become the hidden jewel that this other network gave up. And that doesn't happen anymore because primarily because everybody's at home streaming what they want. They go, channel hopping and have what they want. Go ahead, Randy.
But that whole streaming aspect is bullshit too, because you pay. I don't anymore, but when I was paying $50, $60, $70 for the package, right? Mm-hmm. And you have 400 channels that you don't watch, all but maybe 6 or 8 of them. But you fall in love with the show, like Blue Bloods, right? And the sponsor, you know what? We can make more money spinning this off onto our was it Paramount, whatever the hell it was, streaming, and force the people to go from here to there to continue watching the show. So now people are paying $50 to $60 or more for the package. Now they got to pay an extra $12 or $15 for the streaming to continue watching their favorite show. And then what pissed me off even more is these TV shows are supposed to be weekly, every week, Wednesday at 7, 8 o'clock, blah, 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 Monday, Friday, whatever day it was, you were in front of your TV set because you knew your favorite show was going to be on. No, what did they do to cut back the cost? Because the writers were on strike and we lost all this money. Now we're going to make it like, maybe a new broadcast every 2, maybe 3 weeks. And then you have to wait. And it's like, come on, it's
you have to wait, or you play the streaming game where they were on, whatever night they're on NBC, you can see them on Peacock on Thursday. So, you just camp out in front of your TV set on Thursday and watch them all. where Roku has deals with the programs, you should be able to watch them on the nights that they're on, as opposed to, flipping them on. And, if your local cable company has a program you want to watch on Wednesday night, if they don't, if you have a Roku TV, you should be able to watch it on Wednesday night. I mean, I see what you are saying. Eventually you will end up with 200 monitors in your studio so that you can watch everything.
Yeah, you fall in love with the broadcast, and it used to be back in the day you had that little box on your TV where it monitored what shows you watch, so it would tell us the sponsors that this is a good show, this is a bad show, and that's how the
Nielsen box. Yeah,
right. Well, I guess they did away with it because now they're canceling these shows, and they're not calling the Rhodes residents. Hey, Mr. Rhodes, what do you think? We're thinking about canceling the show. What do you think? No, don't cancel it. No, they don't do that. They don't care about me. All they care about is how much money is going into their bank account, which is sometimes.
Well, but it's the same. It's still the same game. They're just playing it with advertisers. If they can sell the advertising, then you will see the show, because they themselves don't care about the show a lot. They care about selling the advertising. Okay, I will talk amongst myself, but that seems to be the feeling on a lot of things that I watch or we watch, is that they don't care about the advertising so much. I mean, they don't care about the program so much because they just cut in with the advertising whenever they want. And if you can get 750,000 viewers on YouTube watching your YouTube video, you're getting a check based on the number of people that watched your program. And I hope that you are. I mean, I wish that you were. I mean, if I had 750,000 subscribers, I would.
Yeah.
Well, you have to look at Facebook. You have to look at YouTube, and we do something that is different and may not fit into their line of programming. I argued with algorithms yesterday, and they didn't care. It didn't care. They blocked me every single way. They blocked me on all my game. It became a game of trying to play with algorithms until I finally just said, well, if I can't tell you that Alec Baldwin is an idiot because he thinks that anyone who likes Trump is an uneducated, ignorant idiot, that's okay for you to say. So I put up a post on my profile that said Alec Baldwin is an uneducated, ignorant. I didn't call him a moron, but uneducated and ignorant were his words for people who like Trump. So I just said, I just want you to know that he thinks we're a bunch of ignorant people, a bunch of uneducated people. I'm not uneducated. I didn't stay in college long enough to get that piece of paper. I dropped out when I thought I had learned enough to do what I did, and I sit in front of this box 18 hours a day, ask my wife. I'm not uneducated at all. I may be stupid in my beliefs, according to some people, but I'm not uneducated at all. You're not uneducated. Michael Anthony, who was with us last night, is not uneducated at all. People do the research and present it. I want to thank him for giving us what amounted to a little bit more than 30 minutes, I think. We lost the connection, and I'm not sure if it was bad weather between us, which is usually the excuse, but we did appreciate having him on, and other people that we might have on in the next few weeks that have things they want to talk about. But go ahead, Randy.
It's like you said, and he's in Pittsburgh, and I'm not sure. He lives out in the boonies, which I would love to live out in the boonies. But my wife, if my wife sees more than 2 trees in the yard, we're out in the woods, and she wants nothing to do with it, which is kind of sad.
I don't know why. I mean, I would love being out in the boonies with trees around wherever our house is, as long as there's a clearing that Amazon or Timu or whoever could drop via drone
Yeah, yeah.
whatever box my wife orders, because that's what Donna wants. You know, she wants what's in the box. She doesn't really care that we're in the city. I mean, she wants to be close. Of course, we want to be close because we want to be able to visit family or have family come and visit us. But you know, this living in the city sometimes is overrated. Aside from when you get old, like I am, and you got to be near your doctors, you know, all the time because you don't want to drive 4 hours to get to a doctor.
Yeah, here in Lancaster County, we used to have three primary hospitals: St. Joseph
Mhm.
Hospital, which is primarily for the Catholics, obviously, the name Saint. Um,
Right?
Lancaster General Hospital, and uh, another one. Anyways,
Okay.
but two of them got bought out by
Hmm.
Penn Medicine. Now, Penn Medicine is a non-profit organization, so that means they can't make a profit. So so instead of reducing the cost of the healthcare, to reduce their profit margin, they decide they're going to use it to spend, which is not a bad thing either. So
Right.
I'm not lying. You could throw a rock, okay, and hit a Penn Medicine medical facility. That's
Hmm.
how many there is.
Yep.
Um, which is not bad because, like, for people like me who don't drive, getting there is a lot easier.
Hmm.
But I would rather see them reduce the cost of the care as opposed to having 1,000, Penn Medicine medical facilities.
Yep.
But they don't listen to me. I
Well,
mean,
if they don't listen to you, they don't listen to me. They don't
yeah,
listen to us.
you
Maybe
know,
maybe if they tuned in and watched, or came on, they could explain to us.
so here is another thing that they don't listen to me about. They don't listen
Okay.
to me about history. History is extremely important for
It is.
any nation because, first off, if there was no history, there's no present. Um,
Right.
and the history of any nation is, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's horrible, sometimes it's beautiful, and you can't pick and choose what part of your nation's history you want to have. You know, you have folks primarily of non-white person will walk down a city street or a country street and oh my God, that flag! Oh, I'm having a heart attack. Oh, I can't stand that flag. Oh, that statue. Oh no, 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 we can't have that here. Oh, so they gather up their motley crew, and they go and they protest. And the sad thing is that the local government people are too damn willing need to stand up to them because these people are threatening to destroy and rant and rave and so forth, and so the government officials back down to their this demand. So right, the past several years, the demand is just to erase American history, like our founding freaking fathers. Now, come on, you know, not everyone is a angel or a saint. We all come with our black marks and our scars and our uh, bad things in our closet. But you have to look at
Yep.
what did they do that to outweigh what they did that was bad, and they created our nation. They're the ones who gave up of their
Yep.
wealth, their lives in some cases, to stand against the aggressor who was the King of England to help our people to create a new nation.
And I never got it because I don't understand it. King Edward, I think it was, or King George, I forget, funded both sides of the war. So he funded us that wanted to win our independence against his own troops that were going to try to defeat us, and they lost. So did he win something? I mean, do we still
Well, of
belong
course
to
we do. I
him?
mean, if you listen to people like Michael Anthony and I think even William Fagans, they say that your birth certificate is sold and so forth, things like
Right.
that. Uh,
Yeah. I can't imagine that a lawyer one day is going to knock on my door and say, "I've got $100 million to give you back for your birth certificate." You know, I couldn't even imagine that much money. No, could not imagine.
you know, I mean, I haven't spent enough time to try and truth seek that comment that our birth certificates are sold because we all come with a dollar amount of value, and somehow someone somewhere is making bank on us. So I'm not sure about that. And
Yeah.
maybe one of these days, I might take the time to figure that out. But I want to go on the side that that's just uh, uh,
I just look at it this way: when someone says to me, next week you're going to have $50,000 in your account in July, and I wait through July and we're into August, and that same person is saying, "Oh, you'll have $50,000 in your account in August." You're going to see all kinds of money, all kinds of this, all kinds of that. They used to want you to remove everything from your banks and open an account in the new QFS system. And now what I'm being told is no, they don't want you to open an account in anything QFS because it's all going to be done for you, and you're going to, you're going to love it. And, I'm at the point where, stop telling me I'm going to love it because I may not. I'm just tired of, just let me be me. Let my wife, Donna, be me or be her, not be me. Let Donna be Donna.
Yeah, there we go. I knew you were for that side.
and just go on with our lives the way we want to go on with them, and everybody just stop telling everybody how you have to be. You don't have to be how you don't want to be. You may need more than one person to help convince everybody else that we don't want to be that way, or but why can't we just sit and drink coffee and gather around and deal with whatever we have to deal with? And then sometimes you have to be out on the streets in different capacities and try to work it all out. I don't know. Go ahead, Randy.
Well, we had that steel mill explosion here in Pennsylvania, and I guess they're still looking for people. And right now the death toll stands at 2. Okay, which is for the explosion and the possible aftermath. That's not a bad number. But this popped up to my screen, and I don't like the way they wrote the article. It says Father Timothy Quinn killed in U.S. steel explosion. So I'm not sure if by Father Timothy he actually had like a minister, but in the content, I don't like the way it's written.
Okay.
It says the second victim of the deadly explosion of the U.S. Steel Claritin Coke Works was a mama's boy and devoted father of 3 who was raising 5 children. I'm sorry, I'm not sure about when you were brought up, but if someone called you a mama's boy,
Yep.
it meant you were effeminate, that you were, you had no strength to you, had no oomph, that you had to always run to mommy for something. Uh, I, I'm not sure if that's what they mean. I mean, to work in a factory that makes batteries, you can't be a mama's boy. You have to have some strength to you and so forth. My brother worked in a battery factory. Those the double A, C batteries kind of thing.
Mhm.
And he said it was dangerous because you had all these acids that they used to make the batteries. Um, but it paid well because it was a dangerous job. But he didn't stay there very long. But to be called "Mama's boy," I'm sorry, that's just wrong.
I don't know if you can see us on Facebook today because Warner Digital Rights Music Group has blocked us in 2 countries,
What to,
and they didn't tell me which 2 countries. It's in Belize and 13 other countries that no one in the United States has any idea what they are. So if you see me on Facebook, you see me on Facebook. And if you're in any other country but these 2, I apologize, and we'll work it out. But it was fair use of maybe 30 seconds of Bad Boys, and we're not making any money off of it. We're not trying to make any money off of it. I'm just tired of everyone jumping on everybody and being concerned that, because they didn't make their 4 cents, uh, you know, life is bad. Okay, we didn't do anything wrong. We used it fair use. And if you need fair use, send me the form again and I'll send it back to you with fair use on it. And you'll probably say everything was okay. Good morning, Suzanne Accardo. Suzanne has the group on Facebook, Modern. I cannot remember it. Suzanne, type in the entire name of the group and I will make sure I plug it a few times.
yeah, it is a
It
long.
deals with human trafficking, but it's a long name that deals with a uh, positive deal. So it is very important that we plug it when we can and try to get people into it. Modern day slavery, creating awareness about human trafficking, USA. Modern day slavery, creating awareness about human trafficking, USA. And I actually should make a note and just keep it by my side and have it ready when we go on the air and let people know about it. If you have a group on Facebook, please do the same thing. Let me know about it. The only thing I'm going to say about groups on Facebook today is maybe you want to think about taking your group and setting it up on streetlock.com, STRETLOC.com. And the only reason I say that is because they don't rule you over there the way you are ruled over here. You can have your group. You can say whatever you want. You can get mad at other people in your group. I got mad at somebody because somebody said every one of them is a Jew-tard. And I responded to him, I've been a Jew for 63 years, and I'm not changing being a Jew. And I'm not a Jew-tard. I'm sorry that you're mad at some of them, but you don't have a right to be mad at me. But my point is that you can say anything you want and expect that you may or may not get picked on over there. Whereas over here, they just block you to make sure that other people don't see it. So think about that and take it away, Randy.
Yeah, I mean, when people don't know what to do or say, they have to revert to you know uh, uh, using ethnicity and things like that to get their point across.
Right.
And I'm sorry, that's just it shows.
It is.
I had a teacher who used to say, if you have to swear, it shows how much intelligence you have that you have to swear.
Right.
And, it is what it is. But so I was talking about, erasing of history, and history to me is very important. I actually had a guy
Yes, it
locally
is.
who stopped by yesterday, and he must have dropped off, I don't know, 200, 300 magazines about the Civil War or the war between the North and the South. And it was a combination of like 8 different publications. So I'm going to, believe it or not, I do have an ongoing what used to call back in the day in the library of the index cards. So help me out here, Dave. Remember, you used to go to the school library, and they had,
Oh,
yeah,
the card
yes,
file, doing
yeah,
decimal, the big
yes,
drawer of
yes, yes. I
all the shelves. One of the few things I did enjoy actually
Yeah, so
learning
I'm
in
going to
high
be
school.
creating something like that for myself. So when I do history, I can go to a particular book or magazine and get more information. But so I'm going to have fun with that. Um, but I do want to, I'm going to not share anything more for today since I already got burnt once. But for the music, those just makes absolutely no sense. But you know, if you guys ever want to. Uh, uh, if you guys read like I do, some of the books are no longer in print, so you can actually find those books online. Just type in the title of the book, and if it takes you to Amazon, well, it's still in print. But if it takes you somewhere else, like I don't, the site is called Archives, and you can actually go to that site and download the entire book and read it, with an iPad or cell phone or the computer for free, which I think is phenomenal. Plus, it allows you to search. So when I find, like I mentioned before, when folks came to the New World, they would keep journals or write little books about their experience, and for whatever reason, they'll hide those books, under the floorboards or behind a fireplace or in the wall or something. And then when modern days came, and people would buy these old houses and they would do a renovation to it, they would come across these really old books. And what's nice is that these people had enough forethought to donate them to like an ancestry company or someone else like that, and they would scan the entire book so that you can actually read it. Yearbooks is a really big thing. So if you guys, like I did, when I had a yearbook, and I was big with the women in high school, and I would, you always had them sign your. At the end of the year, you got your yearbook, and you went to all your friends and girlfriends, whatever, and they signed their name to it. Well, I had one like that. And when I got married, I thought, it's not right for me to have this yearbook with all these, cutesy comments from the girls I knew from high school. So I threw my yearbook away. But for people like you, or like me, who threw their yearbooks away, they're online, and you can read them for free if you want to take the time. You can print the whole damn thing out if you want. But Ancestry has all these yearbooks because people donated them and they scan them into the system. Um, and that's how I
Yeah.
find people's high school pictures. Do you remember this day? Oh my god, I actually wore that. Oh my god, look at my hair. Yeah, you know, so yeah, history. You have to have history. You have to learn from history. You know, um, right now, Russia and Ukraine are in the process of erasing the history of Ukraine's, primarily Ukraine's country. Yeah, Russia's getting some
Right.
damage to some of their buildings, but not
Not
to the degree
much.
that
Not much.
Ukraine is being wiped off the map. Okay,
Right.
and and every time Trump talks about a ceasefire, it just prompts Putin to do more damage, and that's what he's doing. Um, uh, you know,
You can't have a ceasefire where both of them drop all the bombs they have 1 week, or one of them drops it 1 week, and then the other one goes in and drops all the bombs they have the next week. You can't do that. Okay, you have to stop firing and see if you can work it
But
out.
you have to wonder, you know, Ukraine was part of Russia back in the day. It was Russia was a huge nation, and Ukraine was part of that nation. And I'm not sure Dave probably knows, but someone along the way to say, you know what, I'm going to break up my nation. I'm going to give back these people their nation so they can govern themselves. And that's what happened here with Ukraine and some other countries. They became independent because that's what they were before Russia invaded them back in the Cossacks days. But Putin is trying to rebuild the glory of Russia, and he wants Ukraine back into the fold. And I think the only thing that's going to satisfy Putin is one of two things. He keeps all of Ukraine, and Zelensky goes bye bye with a shit full of money, right? Or Putin is allowed to keep all the land that he currently possesses with his military. And that's the sticking point for Zelensky. Zelensky does not want to give up any of his land. And I kind of understand the reason behind that. Sure, you don't want to give up any of your country. But again, like I said before, look at Israel. Look what Israel did. United States did the exact same thing. When we started the westward movement as a new nation, we were taking land away from the various Indian tribes. The Apaches, the
Yep.
Iroquois, the Mohawks. We actually wiped out Mohawks, and but we took all this land, or we bought it, with jewelry and things like that, and we tricked them. Um,
Yeah.
and then we said, well, look, to certain tribes, here's this land over here. We'll help you relocate this land over here, and you can live there and
Well,
have a good old time, right? But the land,
well, hopefully some of them took them and started casinos,
yeah,
and the ones that started casinos made millions and millions and millions of dollars, but they were like everybody else. That some of them gave all of their tribal members $1 million a year, and then it dropped to $100,000 a year, and then it went away from what
well,
I heard.
but the problem is, if you look at the tribes today, they become what I would call Americanized. Um, they're wearing modern day clothing. They're living in modern day housing. Like you said, they're getting money from the casinos, and a lot of them are drunk or on drugs or in a sex trade. I mean, the glory of what they were is gone, and it saddens me when I see these videos on Facebook of these powwows that they have where they a lot of them dress up in traditional clothing to dance their various dances. Then you have a handful of Indians who are dressed halfway, half original, half modern day clothing, doing the dance, and it's like
Right.
it's sad that they have to resort back to that to make some money, and I know we
Right.
can't. Uh, what I would like to see is we give them back. I mean, a lot of the land that we have is not being used. I mean, a lot of wooded areas, mountains, and so forth. So we have a shitload of land out in the Midwest that is, there for hunters and for the deer and for the bear or whatever. I mean, no one's living there. You know, why can't we, cut a chunk of that land out and say, here, to the survivors of the various Indian tribes, we're giving this your land back for you to live, and we're going to mark it off so that no white man can come into your land. Allow them to live. We used to hunt and fish. You know, we just it saddens me what we've done, but it's like I said on one broadcast. The stronger nation always wins out. You have the new world. You had all these native tribes who were living life like they always do, and of course, you had some tribes were still, fighting other tribes for the land, for the women, or whatever. And if you were the stronger nation with more warriors or arrows and spears, you usually won out. But then, but then,
Right.
but then when the Europeans came, we had our cannons, we had our rifles, we had our pistols. So our power was more powerful than what they had, and they eventually lost out. It's I don't know if you want to call it, I don't know what you'd call it, but it's sad with what we've done, and we can't go back. But what we can do, we can learn not to do it again. You know what I would love to see
Mm.
is Elon Musk get his ships together and go to like a Mars and start a new colony and then relocate, various, groups of people so they can go there and live life the way they want to and without the, big government looking over them and saying, no, you can't do that. I mean, look at the Amish
Yep.
and the Mennonites in my area who still live like they did 200 plus years ago. They live tax free. They don't make use of any government facilities, but unless they sell food. If they sell food, it has to meet the requirements of the USDA. If it doesn't, they get fined. And what it is that the government wants these Amish Mennonite farmers to use these weed killers and bug killers on their crops, and they refuse to do that because it's not natural. People like to eat their food natural. And as long as it's not disease or full of bacteria, why not let them sell their food the way they always sell their food? Um,
Right.
I don't know. Uh,
I don't either. I don't either. And you can get up every morning and just say, this is Bad Boys, and play a few seconds of it, and everybody knows what it is, and you're not making any money off of it. I don't know if
We
we're
are.
live on
We are.
Facebook this morning. I haven't. Okay, I haven't gotten over to YouTube. I know we're live on YouTube because I shared it from YouTube to another place this morning. You won't see it on my profile because it was removed from my profile. But if you see it, wherever you see it, that is where it is today. And let's see, Doctor, you said about an hour, so you got about 15 minutes to go.
Shake something here for you, Bobby.
No, that's okay. They don't get rid of me. They just get me to the point where you can't do everything all at once. Claudette Rhodes just sent it, so we are where we're supposed to be. So good morning to you, Claudette. Thank you for sending it. We'll be able to send it out on Messenger to anybody who wants it, and we'll be able to decide what we're going to do on Facebook later today. But we're not. We're not live on my profile. That's all I know. But anyway, we're almost done.
Which profile do you mean?
My Dave Glovin profile. It's not. I don't see it live on there.
Yeah.
It may be live on there, but I don't see it on there. So
let's see.
And I probably got myself. Yeah, I don't see it on there, which means that I don't see it on there. Other people may see it on there. I'm not going to worry about it this morning. If you see it, that's great. If you don't see it, that's great. And if Facebook is going to be the problem where it's more cover themselves than it is cover everybody else, because they don't do it to Democrats who do the same thing. They don't nail them for playing 30 seconds of a song that brings them in. They come after conservatives, and they come after conservatives with a punch. Maybe after 16 years, it's time to pull my efforts from Facebook. It's only been about 4 or 5 years with the broadcast, but maybe it's time to pull it from here and go somewhere else. We talk about it all the time. We talk about maybe We'll do some on YouTube. Maybe we'll do some on Street Lock. Maybe we'll do some here. Maybe we'll do some there. The problem that I will say to most people, as we have said, is that it could cost money to keep doing it wherever we do it. And I've held off charging people any kind of a subscription fee to do it. So if you like Boogie with the Bull, and I tell you that it's going to be on YouTube, on the YouTube channel today, you might go look at the YouTube channel. If I tell you it's on Street Lock today, you might go look over there. Until we kind of figure out what we're doing, we're kind of at the mercy of people at Meta, and which I don't understand, because you can get in trouble on Facebook for doing something, and then they'll ask you to put it on Instagram, and they'll ask you to put it on Threads, and they leave you alone. They don't do anything, and it's the same, it's the same company. It's the same broadcast. I don't understand what the problem is. Like I said, I'm growing tired of the cover your ass situation, which means that a algorithm decides you did something wrong and it spanks you, and you're not on Facebook, but you can be on Threads, you can be on Instagram, and you can even talk about what happened, and they just leave you alone. And I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
But,
I don't know.
Anyway,
You know,
it is what it is, and it's always going to be what it is. So, in your final 12 minutes, tell people what you do, where you do
what
it.
I do and where do I do it? That's a dangerous question. I do genealogy, which is the study of history, of the family history. I love doing it.
Right.
Sometimes I find relationships between clients because their ancestors back in the day got together and went, whoo-hoo, let's have some kids. And that's how, I find their relationships. It's kind of weird. I just don't have enough time for my own personal stuff anymore. But a year or so ago back, I found out, so my surname is Rhodes. My mom's surname, her name was Bretts, primarily here in Lancaster County, okay? I was doing some research on my own personal family, and I found out that several states over, back in the 1800s, there was a Rhodes family, and there was a Bretts family, and they got together and they got married and they made whoopee. So I don't know if those families migrated over to here to Pennsylvania and set up a life, or if we went there. I just have not had the time to do that research, but I'm sure it'd be very interesting. Folks, I did a quick search before we came on here, and the modern day schools are removing our nation's history from the textbooks that you and I, us older folks, used to have when we were in high school and junior high and so forth. Right. They're trying to erase our history, but there's just no way. You can't wipe out, like those Etch-a-Sketch boards where you draw something and and you shake it up and it clears the screen. You can't do that with the history of a nation. You either accept it or you don't, and you change it moving forward. You can't erase it like those on the left are trying to do, and even still trying to do. It took someone like President Donald J. Trump to say enough's enough. We're not going to continue to erase our history. It is what it is. These men, they gave of their wealth, of their lives to create this nation. Yeah, some of them may have owned slaves, or yeah, some may have done that, but overall, they did good for our nation, and we need to still honor that part of that person. And so, one of the other tasks has been bestowed upon me. It's Mindy Esposito Hergert. She has asked me to start sending out emails to all the congressmen and senators who are coming up for re-election to try and get their an idea where they stand when it comes to the South. because believe it or not, folks, there are people in the South who still want to secede their states, so they're going to try and do it politically by using the Constitution on how to separate without having to fire any weapons. And so that's what this whole prospect is to send to these congressmen and senators, see where they stand, get them on board, and then to get them to see the states. So that's what we're trying to do here. And as well as Matt Holmes. He's not a client of mine, but he's a friend. And he found us on Dave's show, and he knows who I am. He knows my worth. He knows of my accreditation and so forth. So he is the author of books concerning the war between the North and the South, primarily concerning his own family history. So he is sending me 6 of the books he's written so far to read them and to do a review of them on Facebook as well. So the first book he sent me is called Hell in Cell. Hell in the Cell. It is about his great grandfather and the son who were in battle. They got captured and they went to Point Lookout prison camp where thousands upon thousands of Confederates died. It was a horrible, horrible. More men died in combat, not from the bullet or from the cannonball, but from disease and the amputation of various arms because they didn't have the modern day technology that we have today to treat wounds. So if you had a massive wound and the doctor couldn't fix it, he lopped off the arm or he lopped off the leg or whatever. And then eventually either you healed and you went home or you didn't and you died from the disease of the bacteria that got into your wounds. Um,
Right.
I'm proud. I'm honored that he has asked me to review these books. I'm also proud and honored that he has asked me to come on board to help with the secession, of the southern states. So we'll have to see what happens with that. I'm a busy boy. I do my genealogy, and
Good.
of course I'm with Dave. 5 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. and Tuesday and Thursday at
And
7 p.m.
very good.
I got
Very
my
good.
mind works
Very good.
sometimes. Oh, and if you haven't taken notice, I have not shaved, so I'm not at the itchy stage.
Good.
So it is still growing, and I know they're
Right.
grumpy, but we'll see what happens.
When it gets to the itchy stage, like I said, give it a shave and start it again. All right, Randy, it's always a pleasure to have you here. We will be available to people on Messenger if you want it. I don't know. Like I said, we played 30 Seconds of Bad Boys this morning and we got in trouble. I don't know why.
Of all the things that I've shared so far, that we got nailed for Bad Boys.
Of all the things in the world that is going on, it doesn't make any sense. And it's these big media companies that are concerned with covering their own rear end before it's anything else. Because when you talk respectively to these people and say at the big companies and say fair use, this is what we did. We didn't do anything wrong around it. They are okay and just don't do it again. And when you do it again, sometimes it's okay, just don't do it again. Well, the FCC, the federal government, passed this thing called fair use that said if you don't do anything wrong around it and you just use it the way it was intended to be used, you should be okay. But, sometimes I say maybe no music, maybe no videos, and then, we just get in trouble. I mean, we just do what we do. But I don't like to say that, but, everybody does use some video and some music. So I don't know. Maybe we'll go over to Sunu.com and type in Bad Boys and see what it
maybe I'll make use of one of my own broadcasts, see what happens. And I think too sometimes I think sometimes depending on who you are, they already have a tracking device on you to watch.
They
'Cause,
do.
I mean, I use video in all my broadcasts. I have not had.
Mhm.
I mean, I'll get that your
Right.
video will not be seen, and then like you said, these two countries nobody's ever even heard of, right?
Right.
And then,
Right. And if the people in those two countries were that upset, they would say something about it. But anyway, Randy,
yeah,
it's always a pleasure to have you here. Go enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and I will
okay,
do that as well. And let's see, tomorrow's Thursday.
yep,
We're
there you
back
go.
at
See
7 o'clock.
you.
All right. Randy Rhodes, All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy. Go to the All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy group. It is a private group. You have to request membership, and then you can message Randy or go to the Randall Rhodes Facebook page and send him a note on what you're looking for, and he'll tell you what he can do. And he usually can do a lot. Let's see. Anybody else? You're more than welcome to come and talk about your business, what you do, and we'll share it up as well as your groups. We'll share some groups. We will share and promote and talk about non-conservative groups, but we did it once, and it became a yelling match between the person who decided to yell louder than me, and I wasn't yelling, believe it or not. He tried to yell louder than me every time I opened my mouth, to the point where someone else on the broadcast at the time yelled, "If he's just going to yell, shut him off." So I did. But if you come and you're respective of everybody else on the broadcast, and you're more than welcome to come in and talk about just about anything. Maybe that will get us heard in every country around the world on that one day. I don't know. I don't know if I will be able to share today's Boogie with the Bull broadcast. I have it on Messenger. I will be able to send it to you if you write me and ask me to send it to you. And then if you know how to take it and post it, you are more than welcome to, if you decide you want to do that. It's just another reminder, like I said, that big media companies want you to do things their way, and sometimes you may or may not have to do them. And I will end it on that note. Sometimes you may or may not have to do them. Going to give you an interesting thought. Facebook makes billions of dollars off of Facebook. Meta does, off of using our greatest resource, or one of our greatest resources, the internet, and they use it for free. They do not pay you to use the internet. They do not pay you to turn you off wherever you are. They do not pay you for anything. And I'm sorry, after 4, 5, 6 years of doing this on the internet and doing it on Facebook, maybe it is time to go somewhere else and do it. I don't know if anybody who watches on Facebook will go wherever we are. That you have to decide yourself. But anyway, go out and make Wednesday a fantastic day. It's Hump Day in the middle of the week. Think about what's going on in the world right now. They're federalizing Washington, D.C. in efforts to just allow things to continue. Like I said, there's two views going on from people in the area. One view is that he is trying to be a dictator, and one view is he's just trying to get things done. These people are standing by in case they are needed to do whatever they do. And the funny thing is, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, 4 years ago requested help in California to do this, and took it from the same person. Well, no, he took it from Joe Biden because Trump wasn't president. according to Biden, he lost the election. But they took the help graciously from the federal government to do exactly the same thing that needs to be done today. And why a governor of another state would sit and say, you people that left Texas did a great thing, and we support you and we back you up. Because the reality is that if you have something to say, you got to be in Texas to say it. Okay? Your job is to be a Texas representative, not an Illinois representative, not a California representative, not anywhere else. The people that elected you in Texas. And if you're not there to represent them, they're not getting represented, if you want to look at it that way. So maybe it is time to eliminate all of you that left Texas and went to go and hide somewhere else because you don't want to be in Texas to sit down, break bread, and try to figure out what is wrong. Gerrymandering happens every 4 years or 6 years or whatever the terms are in the House and in the Senate. Okay, whoever controls the House gerrymanders to benefit them. They always do. So, Republicans will do it when they get a chance. Democrats get a chance and they do it. So I'm really tired of hearing we don't do it, because you do. The game just needs to change. We need to take political parties out of politics, as I have said before. Okay, you can be a Republican, you can be a Democrat, you can be an independent, but you're an American. And you need to think what is right, what is wrong for America. Not what is right, what is wrong for America because the Democrat says it, or a Republican says it, or an independent says it. We need to be American citizens talking about what is right, what is wrong with America. And we need to take care of that first before we give money to other countries, before other countries come and give money to us, because it tends to be a crock of crap. I did say recently that China and Russia have evidently teamed up, and Iran and the Saudi Arabians have teamed up. And Crown Prince Mohammed talked to President Trump in Saudi Arabia, and was all over the opportunities. What he could get for Saudi Arabia and what he could do for the United States. So it's just a game of politics. We need to clean our house before we clean and help anybody else. The war in Russia and Ukraine is going to go until the last one of them stands. And what happens then? I don't know. I really don't. Anyway, double V's for victory. This Boogie with a Bull has